Hi all, I'm Kenzie. I posted a picture on the Rapunzel Facebook page the other day and I got a ton of requests for a tutorial and I honestly had no idea how I did it. So I've been practicing a lot and I've recorded this like 12 times and I'm always doing something wrong or forgetting. So say a little prayer for me that I get it right this time before I lose my mind. Okay, so I've got the Cloud 9 shaper on right now, but I think it would also, this style would also look really good with a Wendy because it has all that extra volume, and this style has all these layers, so I think it would really be good at defining those. And then what I start out with is a light gray 2-in-1. This might be a tough one, I'm not sure. And you can use any color combo you want. This is just what I had and what I used for the picture. So then I do it fairly off center. So short tail, long tail. And most tutorials you tie it in the back, but this style, you're gonna tie it on the side, like right behind your ear. So you're gonna bring the short tail in front. I'm gonna go fairly fast, as fast as I can. It's gonna be a long tutorial. I'm going to go as fast as I can because it is a long tutorial. So you're left with this. I really like when it's tied this way with the short end, the tail here, because it almost feels like my hair flowing down. Then you've got this long tail, toss it back. Then you're going to move on to your black 2-in-1. And I think this is the normal 2-in-1. But originally, when I planned this style, what I planned to do the first time was to just use the tails, and I was going to taper it this way. So I also did this one pretty off center. Make sure it doesn't matter so much about what it looks like in the back because you've got another layer still. But you want it a little longer over here. I think that might be too long. I've had issues with the length of my tails this whole time, every take. So that is too long. So let's bring it a good amount over. And let's see. Oh, it's probably better. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave. You guys can adjust the spaces and make sure they're straight. I'm really not going to bother because it took me like an hour and a half to do it the first time just because I was playing around, so it would probably take me forever this time too. So short, long, tie another knot just like you did the gray one, but you want this just behind. So you've got knot, knot, and so then it leaves you with this kind of like taper getting longer, and I think that's very pretty. Long one, toss it in the bit. Next I use this light plum Israeli tichel with the gold threads. So it's a square, so you want to fold it so the opposite corners meet. And then you're going to place it on, let me check real fast because I never know. Depending on how long these are, you might want to adjust where the Israeli tichel is placed on your head. So right now I've got it pretty centered, and I think that'll work. That should work today with the length. And these, honestly, there is a very small margin for error on the length of these tails, like because you're doing so much with both, all of the tails you've got. So you're gonna bring it around just like the other ones, under all the triangle left in the back. You're gonna try to just keep all this. You're going to do it in the same spot, opposite side in the front, and tie it just like that, trying to keep that triangle out of it too. You can tighten it and then try to pull that triangle back out. So what you've got here is knot, 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 and then it should be, it's not totally like tapered, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. But so that's what you've got right now. And you can kind of leave it like this, or you can do something else with these, but I like the tails here too. So what I did next, say a little prayer that I get this right so I don't have to re-record again. You want to make all of these parts really flat against your head because we're going to be doing a lot of tucking. A lot of tucking. I'm not exaggerating. So you're going to want to fold it up. You want to try to get this behind the knot so you can keep having knots. I'm not going to worry too much about it because takes a lot of finagling, and I just don't have the time or energy to do that right now. So you guys can all put in a little more time and effort to make all of this spacing a little more even, make sure these knots are showing, make sure everything's as flat as it can be. So you're kind of just treating this as a regal wrap at this point. You're just going to bring it around like you would, and then bring it back where the gray one is in front of all of your back tails. So you're going to bring this around and back up, and then we're going to try to kind of recreate another knot here. We're going to bring this tail that we just brought up, bring it from the back to the front, and then we're going to kind of make what looks like a knot on top of it. So then you're going to basically just repeat it again above that, above where you brought it through before. So now you've got this little doodad thing right there. I don't even know what to call it. It looks like a knot. Okay, you're going to leave that, and then you're going to take the black and do almost the same thing. We're doing the same thing here, regal wrap style. It's pretty far back, so I don't know if it's all even going to stay on. This is why I think a windy might be better, because there's more room to do all your layers. And then you're going to bring it back just like you did over here. And this part's going to be a little different. You're going to still bring it forward like you did this, but this time, this is where it gets complicated, and I hope I explain it well. This time, this is where you brought it through, and you're going to bring it not over that, you're going to bring it through here, and then, where is it? And then under here. So, bring this, just, hopefully you can tell, just bring this part, this tail, under here. I hope you can see that. I hope that makes sense. And then pull that fairly tight. And then, if it's in the right spot, you're kind of, it's a little loose there, hang on. Just let me fix that a tad. So then, what you're kind of left with, if they're in the right spots, are kind of this diagonal, or these triangle effect right here. So this one is going up this way, and this one is going down. So it's kind of this alternate thing right there. I kind of like. So then, what I believe I did, oops, is I took this tail, not the triangle, the tail, and I found that the black layer again, just where I had brought all of this through. And just underneath that, I bring over the black and then back up through. So to kind of create that same knot effect, okay? So then you have all of these, and this is kind of what I was going for originally. I thought maybe like a 6 tail, like waterfall effect would be cool, but it's extravagant. It's a lot. It's too much for me. So I left that there for now, and I'm going to deal with the triangle in the back. So I kind of chose this side to work on because there's so much interest over here already. So what I tend to do is I tend to like pick a side, because if I just tuck it, it gets really bunchy. So I just kind of pick a side, try to get it as smooth as I can on top, and then I'm just going to twist it and then tuck it. I'm going to tuck it behind the black's kind of coming off. I'm not being too careful because, you know, time. But yeah, you just kind of tuck it up. So you might see some of the folding and twisting down here, but it should be fairly smooth up here. If not, you can work on that. I'm not going to worry about it. So, next, what I did, we're still not dealing with these yet. We're dealing with all the back tails, your back 3. Then I took the gray, and I brought it back here, and what that kind of does is it kind of creates this like loop-de-loop look that I really liked. So let me make sure I'm doing this right. This is the part I struggled on last time. So I think I took this. Okay, well what you want to do first is you've got all of these kind of shorter parts where the fabric is shorter, the shorter tassels and the long ones. So you want to kind of, I'll do it the other way. You kind of want to wrap the shorter part in the longer part. So it looks like you're like twisting the fabric, but what you're really doing is like wrapping it up. So these are the only tassels that show. So you don't have so many tassels that you need to tuck. It's kind of nice. I think I learned that from Andrea. Okay, so then this one, you're going to want to keep it pretty close to the bottom. And you're going to tuck it in front of the black. Right there. And then I took the black. Yes, I took the black. And I did the same thing, the wrapping it. Again, looks like twists, but you're just kind of wrapping up the small part that would be hard to tuck. So took that and I actually brought it over this back one, over like on top of it, and I tucked it in the back here, in the back of the black. Maybe not. Maybe I did it in the front. You guys decide. You guys look at the picture and you decide if I did it in the back or in the front. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Then I took this part and I basically did it in the same way. I didn't twist it in the picture, but I think it would look nice twisted because these other ones look twisted too. And I brought it up, tucked it in the black. This one's pretty long, so you gotta tuck it all the way around. I told you, lots of tucking. All right, I'm gonna use a mirror and see what I did there, see if it was right. It's similar to that. I think that's like what it was. If not, it's really similar. I think that's what it was. I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's close. I'm not going to try to do it again. So, what you're left with are these tails, and I think it's really pretty the way it is. That's kind of what I like about this style. That's kind of what I like about this style as well, is there's lots of different places that you can stop, or, excuse me, or you can just change it up a little bit. It's really versatile. It's really complicated, but there's a lot you can do with it too. So then I take all of these and I do the same thing, wrapping up the little bitty tassels. And then somehow I hold that while I do it with this one. You need like 8 hands to do this style. So I don't blame you if you don't try it. I'm probably never going to do it again myself. Besides this tutorial. It's a lot of work. Okay, and then you're going to do a braid. What I did, I'm doing a back, it's a normal 3-strand braid. I'm just doing it backwards. I don't know why. That's just how I always do it. And so anytime you've done a braid, I'm sure you've noticed that it gets smaller as you get closer to the bottom. And I have a friend who has a hairstyling blog, and when she does braids, she does something called pancaking, and it's a little more effective when it's hair, but it works here too. So basically all you're gonna do is pick the width you want and just pull like pieces, like sections of the scarf up to kind of create this fuller effect on the braid. It's fighting me right now, but theoretically it works pretty well. It hasn't fought me this hard in the past, and I'm sorry if you can't see. So something like that, making it just a little more thicker in general. More thicker, more thick. So then I take, I'm learning grammar and the proper way to speak at the same time as this tutorial. So then I take a tiny little hair elastic and I just tie it on the end here because it's really too hard to try to just use the tassels or whatever. So that's cute, like that too. I thought about keeping that, but apparently I like to make things more complicated for myself. So what I did next was I wrapped it around at the bottom, just like this. I hope you can tell. And then, if the length is right, I tucked it in the black again. Everything's tucked in the black. Not the gray, not the gray. If it'll stay. Like I said, I'm doing this pretty quick and messy, so you guys can spend more time on it and make it look neater and make the spacing right, make everything as tight as you need it to be. But it does. It takes a lot of time and effort to put that in the right way. And if it doesn't feel like it's going to stay here, try to use, you can use like a hijab pin or just, you know, like a straight pin or whatever, and that'll work well. So this is what we've got. I'll turn the other way so you can see that. It feels a little loose here, but it also feels like it might stay. So I think that's the closest I've gotten to what the picture actually looked like. That does feel like it might fall out, but it doesn't have to stay for long. So that's got plenty of interest already, but once I've done all of this, it felt kind of ironically monotone because it's all the same color and there's so many things happening with the same colors. So I added a little clippy. It's just a little hair clip I got at the grocery store. And if you've got these right, I think what I did was I clipped it in through the purple one, like right there, and just up through whatever layers it covers. And I like to keep my pins and stuff going along with what the interest is, so my braid's coming down this way, so I like to keep it going on that same angle. So that's all I did though. That's the only interest I added. It doesn't really need it. I just thought it was kind of cute. So this is it. I'm not even going to watch this video before I post it because I've filmed it so many times. But like I tried to show you through the video as well, like there's so many variations. There's so many different ways you can tie it and leave it as decoration. And that's one of the reasons I really like it. And there's so many different combinations. You know, you don't have to use plum and black and silver. And I'm not sure they even go great together because there's gold in this. And this looks blue in the video, but it's really like a gray silver color. So I don't know, just have fun with it. I'd love to see what you guys come up with that's, you know, a variation, or where you stop, or if you add more. You know, I'd love to see whatever you do with it because it is fun and it's versatile and it's hard. It takes forever, but it's fun and it looks really great in the end if you really take your time and, you know, put in the effort. So I hope this helps. I hope, you know, I hope this wasn't too long. I'm sorry about the length, but I hope it was clear. If you have any questions, reach out and I'd be happy to try to explain it. So yeah, have a good day. Bye.